welcome to Sabers, Civilized Sabers, and Mundo Madness Monday. Mundo in the house. How are you guys doing tonight, guys? Yes, I am early burly, man. I'm gonna try to make this my new schedule because now I am officially coming home a lot earlier. And I'm thinking, well, if I'm coming home earlier, we're gonna do some early shows. So yes, Charlie, what up, my friend? Welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you and an honor, my friend. Cheers to you, buddy. Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure to have you here. So tonight I want to talk about Greeblies and saber bling and all of the good stuff that comes with that. And as you can see, got myself a new little chair here. An upgrade, man. I got myself like a nice little comfy chair to go in here. And as you can see right here, I've got all the sabers around sounded. And I've got the Vader Stein right here. And we got some good stuff, man. So, right, I had been thinking about this, for most of the last week. And I was thinking to myself, I see a lot of people, and especially right now, a lot of the bling going on for the no, Charlie, man, it's the way it always is, bro. I mean, it's always a pleasure and honor to have you, man. Um, such a martial arts brother too. I need to get back into it as well. I miss it, man. I miss it. I used to study kung fu, a while back, and I did taekwondo also and karate, but never too long in each. But my dream was to always get like the black sash in kung fu. So I don't know. Maybe one day, hopefully, I'll can achieve that. So let's get the battery in here, and we'll continue talking about saber bling, Greeblies on the sabers. What do you usually use to up upgrade to make your saber stand out from the rest? And one of the things that I've been seeing, and especially like Cole, man, Cole has been knocking it out, and Todd Johnson, Darth Alice. A lot of the bling that I've been seeing lately is the laser etching, and my goodness, that is just such beautiful stuff coming out. So if you're taking a saber, right? Oh, by the way, this piece right here, this piece, I mean, it slips in off. This piece actually right here, the signature is from Darth Maul himself, man. um I actually have this piece, and it's supposed to go onto the memory saber, and I just wanted to see how it would look on the warlock, and it looks pretty wicked on the warlock itself too, man. So I don't know if you could see it. So right here, this piece, I just wanted to show off to people and let everybody know that this was signed by Darth Maul himself, man. And he's actually coming to San Antonio in, oops, sorry. He's actually coming to San Antonio in October, and I'm hoping I can get the memory saver up and running before then. So, oh yeah, Ray Park is just magnificent, man. And I told him about the story about the memory saber, right? And now that it's 2.0, it's going to be even in that much better. I'm hoping I can get the funds and have the saber ready to go so that I can go to San Antonio and show Ray Park what he was able to do for me and what I was able to accomplish with the memory saver. And I tell you, thanks to Rich Sangillo, man. for the chassis system in it, it makes it so much better. And also it is kind of bling bling for it too, So it's a double uh the chassis system is a double purpose for the memory saver. And I can't thank Rich enough, man. I really can't thank Rich enough. And it means so much, and to have people like that, and you guys as well, right, come along for the ride with me. And I know the community is pretty badass. Titan, my buddy, what up, my friend? And come on in. It is all good. Got the drink in hand, got the warlock ready to go. So well, I'm gonna activate it right now. Look at that. Love it. Oh man, I love these blasters, man. All right, so let's continue with the discussion here, and throughout the show, I'm going to activate the warlock from time to time here, but I'm also going to work on a couple of things too. So while I'm talking, I'm going to be working, and even though you may not see me work on it, because I tried that other little camera and the connections weren't working right. So eventually I'm gonna get it though, so that I can have the camera while I'm working. I can have two cameras, one right here where you can see me like this, and the other one where you can see me working too. So there'll be two pictures, so one of me working and one me talking to you. Charlie says, "Yep, June. He'll be close by me, so me and Sophie will be at one of the conventions. It'll be my third time hanging out with him. Such a console for a Sith Lord, right? Yeah, absolutely, Charlie. He is such an awesome dude, man. Because I met him in Laredo when I had that memory saber, and my friend had just passed away from brain cancer, and I was thinking to myself, like, really, is it going to be able to, um, I only had enough money for his autograph. And he was so kind because he says, "You want a picture, man?" I'm all like, "I would love one, but it's not right to do this without the money." He says, "No, get over here. Let's do it. Let's do it, man." And so that picture that you've seen on Facebook with me and him, that was the picture that he so graciously did for me, and I can never thank him enough for that. So it's really important that I get Roy Boy 2.0 done and really get to show him that the finished product. So it'd be kind of cool, man. It'll be good to do that. Now, bling bling and all kinds of different things, man. And as a matter of fact, Greeblies and anything that you can like kit bashing. I'm not sure how many of you actually kit bash, or even basically take out um like take apart dead electronics, radios, whatever you get. Like I had an old VCR laying around that doesn't work anymore. I just kind of dissected it, man, and try to get some things out of it. And part of it, I think this was from the radio, or this is from the VCR, right? So I'm going to take all of these buttons here off. I'm take that off. These potentiometers, I'm definitely going to take off. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use these for in a build just yet. Um, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, and even some of these buttons right here, right? There's so much potential with things like these that you can take off and use. I also had a little remote control helicopter, a mini helicopter, and somebody screwed it up, not me, because I sent it to the guy to go put in a new little piece, and he took it apart. He stated that he was able to do it because he worked on all kinds of hobby aircrafts and stuff, and he could do it. Well, he showed up, and when I showed up to go pick it up, he told me he couldn't do it, then he messed it up. So after that, I'm all like, I lost money and this, that. Well, I just never got around to fixing it. So now I took the little rumble motors. I took the little motors out of it, and eventually I think one of these little suckers will go into a saber build. You know, you could feel that really big vibe on there. You know, I've heard if you put these little rumble motors in there, that it does kind of weird things, man. So I'm gonna try that out one of these years. May not be anytime soon, but we'll see how that's gonna happen, how that works out, right? Um, so anyway, uh, I've been hearing and seeing some things online, and especially these people that be doing, rooms as well. I mean, they do rooms, but they do different things, and they make different things, and um, they get kits as far as kind of like different, like cars, airplanes, model kits basically. Okay, they get a bunch of model kits, and they actually go and they take stuff out of these kits, and they use stuff from these kits, and that's why they call it kit bashing, right? So they take stuff out of these kits, and they put it on sabers, they put it on other type of builds, they do all kinds of stuff. And I've been seeing some of these things that really intrigue me, because when you see all these different YouTube channels and stuff about building rooms and building this and building that, and you're getting Greeblies from different items, different stuff, how you can turn a simple thing into a magnificent thing, right? Just like Darth Alice and Cold Weathers with the laser etching. I mean, such beautiful patterns on metal, and it just looks amazing for the things that they are doing. Such art on top of the metal, right? Mm. And now you could say that that's art, art that you can fight with, right? And that's what Sabers is. I mean, Sabers is a form of art that you can fight with. And, and I believe, excuse me, guys, let's see. Okay. I mean, PVC pipe is nothing special, right? But when you cut it, you paint it, you sand it, you do whatever, right? You have a vision in your head. And then you can end up something like this, a shelf queen, right? Just a plain old saber, just a plain old saber made out of PVC. Ain't got no guts in it yet, right? And I already took out the pins because I needed pins for something else. So I'm thinking to myself, well, shoot, I mean, why not make a PVC something that you can actually use? And everybody's already also using what stuff from the hardware store. So when you make a saber from hardware store parts, you're using Greeblies, you're using all kinds of different things to achieve that saber look that you're looking for. um, as well as like now that I would, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that 3D printed chassis and 3D printed items for sabers are Greeblies? Are they um, enhancements? Are they? I mean, because we've come a long way from getting just your standard metal rods and your metal, hole stuff. You guys, I'm sure wizards that are awesome never would think of using parts like that. No, it's not that we're wizards, man. I mean, it's just it's imagination, Charlie. Um, imagination, especially when you're doing your martial arts. you have the imagination, right? When you're training, your imagination goes, as you're doing your kicks, as you're doing, your forms. You imagine your opponent in front of you. So when you're doing the kicks, you're doing the blocks, you're doing your form, you're doing everything, right? You're doing everything that you can possibly do to figure out what an opponent's move would be. Well, in saber terms, it would be almost the same thing, right? Only you're using your imagination. You're using parts to enhance your sabers, the look of your sabers, and whether they be Greeblies or whether they be something else. That it would actually end up in the form of what you're looking at in terms of your build, your outside look of your hilt, right? And each hilt and each saber has its own soul, has its own uniqueness to it. So no one saber is going to cut the same way. No one saber is going to fit a particular part the same way. Most of them might, but not everyone will. I mean, so that's just something you gotta kind of deal with, right? And since each build is different, you can build different blades and the different lengths. Now we know that the blades are a must for the sabers, right? But in Greeblies, I mean, if you truly believe that if you want to enhance a blade, such as sanding it down, right, for more diffusion. But then there's some people that add glue for another specific look. So the glue could be considered the hot glue or whatever glue that they use to make a specific look um, on the blade. I guess you could consider that a greebly, right? And as far as buttons go, Um, I would consider the buttons for the memory saver, Greeblies, even though they're buttons already. But the way that I have them situated here, right? The way that I have them situated here, and even for the LED that goes here, right next to the kill key, right? So that's gonna go in there like that. That's a Greebly right there. So that's gonna enhance the look of the saber. It's going to enhance a lot of different things. And I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Have you guys, Titan? Have you guys actually and thought about using model car kits, airplane kits, model other kits of that sort of as to try to find parts that would kind of like be like super cool on your lightsaber that would make I mean, just any little piece that would make it stand out to the rest of the other sabers around, as opposed to doing the laser etching, as opposed to, I mean, even using even using these brass rods, right? The brass rods can enhance your saber. Well, I don't know. I mean, accent rods, you call them, and then you put it in their chassis, and then of course it enhances the chassis looking experience. So that's a Greebly in itself. The just a plain Jane brass rod, right? Um, let's see. And then of course I mean, all these tubes, you got, silver tubes, you got your brass tubes and everything like that. All these different little things, right? And especially, hmm, now, especially if you have coaxial pieces, uh, like that, right? Pieces like this that you can actually drill through. set in LEDs, maybe set in set in your crystals, right? So you can have this piece for a crystal chamber. So there again is a Greebly for your crystal chamber, and anything to improve on that little system there. Let me see here. I'm not sure if that would kind of work or not, but uh, just to kind of make fun of this thing and really kind of get an idea of something. But let's see. Yeah. All right, that ain't gonna work too bueno. Okay. So now I was just trying to put an LED flat in there like this, but that single LED like that is too big and too round to fit into here. So let's see here. Where am I? Now, how many of you actually thought about, like I said, if you had thought about using any kind of model kits to do your enhancements on your sabers? And I'm sure some people have actually gotten some of these little motors out of these like mini helicopters and stuff. Buy them cheap at Walmart, right? You know, like 20 bucks, 25 bucks, and destroy them for the little motors that probably enhance your lightsaber about 100-fold. I mean, why not? I mean, if you actually take in consideration how much your saber is, and then how much you want to bling it out, man, I tell you, then go for it. I mean, especially if it's cheap enough to do it. You buy a model kit for like 10, 15 bucks, right? And you may not get all the parts that look really good with it, but if you get like two or three cool looking little parts, let's say a wing, you get like three F6. Let's say you buy an F-16 model kit, man, and you cut pieces or portions of the aircraft wing, and you put them on your saber in a way that kind of looks Sithy. And why not, man? Why not bling it out, right? Why not make it look pretty wicked? If you can check it out, and if it looks right, if it looks cool, if it looks Sithy, go with it, run with it, man. I've seen room builds that these guys they go to town, they find all of these different little parts. They find these MDF wood, they sand it down, they seal it, then they paint it, and they cut whatever. And by the end of the show, man, I mean it is something really functional, and it looks pretty awesome. So you can do the same thing with sabers in terms of what you want to do, when you want to do it, right? And you can experiment with all different little things to bling out your saber, man. I believe, we're getting all these amazing artists and doing different things with sabers, and again, um, just the new sabers that are coming out. But something's like, um, all right, so like the Evo Flex, right? And you've got the short bunny ears. You've got the short bunny ears, but actually, and then if you have, let's say somebody takes uh Vader's hilt, uses Vader's hilt, and puts bunny ears on parts of Vader's hilt, right? There you go. I mean, that you're experimenting with different parts and different things to bling out the saber. And I don't know if anybody's actually done that though. I don't think I've ever seen Vader's hilt in terms of, a New Hope with bunny ears, actually. I think it looked kind of weird, but at the same time, you never know, right? You never know. Titan. Okay, have you taken anything? Have you taken any radios apart? Maybe some electronics that didn't work, any kit bashing, or just in general. I mean, the go-to place is basically, um, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, the plumbing parts, right? I mean, most of the time, plumbing parts is the go-to for blinging out and doing excellent crystal chambers, excellent pieces for sabers. As a matter of fact, I've seen some pretty awesome pieces in the plumbing area for crystal chamber stuff, man. I kid you not. And for I guess probably about 350, right? 350, I think I saw that these two pieces would look very cool for LEDs to be put in, the crystals to be put in, one on top. Just picture Vader with bunny ears now. Charlie. Now you know why I was kind of laughing, right? Yeah. But you never know. Somebody might come up with that later, man. Even though I'm talking all this smack and I'm talking all this mess. I kid you not. Somebody's probably listening to me and they are gonna do it or they are gonna make it, even as dumb as it sounds, dude. Right? I repaired the emitter electronics on a laser hilt from Dark Wolf and love weathering zebras. Yeah, so see, Titan. I mean, the right imagination is endless. I mean, just you can come up with all kinds of stuff, and it wouldn't matter what you pulled through, and like Rich says, as long as it works, it's good to go. And I think that's the whole thing, man. If you have a big imagination, I don't think there's nothing you can't accomplish with Greeblies and everything else that go along with Saber Bling Bling, right? I mean, look at Jeremy, look at Jim for Terraform Orbital, Albert from Solos. I mean, all of these guys doing uh and Robert, right? All of these guys and are doing such freaking awesome work on their chassis and bling blings with all the LEDs in there, right? Yeah, from left and right, and then all the little greeblies, all the little engine parts that you can see in there, painting the way they have it all set up. It's just unbelievable, unbelievable. And I mean, the way that Rich, did his chassis system, right? It came out pretty damn good, and then just the paint job to it just enhanced it that much more. So there's just no, I guess, as far as your imagination can go, is how far you can go and take a simple saber to simple to phenomenal, right? I have a couple of US Ultra Sabers and niche hilts I want to Greeblies and weather. See, Titan, I tell you what, I did have an Ultra Sabers and I gave it to one of my cousins, right? Because I really didn't he is a Star Wars fan too. And I gave him the saber because I had gotten it and I was going to do something with it, but he was looking for a saber already. And I had already wired it for him. And it was one that I was going to do that I had been telling you guys about doing the Deer Slayer, right? But I think I see a better way of doing the Deer Slayer later on, which is kind of close to the Warlock saber, but not quite, with this handle on it. But yeah, something similar uh, with this piece right here with the choke, and maybe the full body right here, so that I can put deer fur or deer hide around and around the buttons and everything, and then some deer horns around this, like a crown of deer horns, right? And that will be my deer slayer. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, like I said, I've got plans and plans, and you know, there's you can do different theme stuff as well, right? Different themes, different sabers, different imaginations. I mean, you name it, you can do it. And even just coloring, painting chassis. I think painting is also part of a Greebly system, right? You can leave it black, you can leave it white, you can leave it, whatever color the PLA comes out. You can do all of that stuff. You can have all of that stuff out and leave it there. And if you leave it there, then you know when you leave it there and you do things like that. Okay, my brain. I need to back up because my brain is starting to rush, and my mouth is moving faster than my brain. So I need to kind of bring myself back down before I lose everybody here. A Beastmaster. Oh my God, Felicia. A Beastmaster hilt. Now that'd be something, right? I don't know if anybody's made a Beastmaster font. That'd be kind of interesting, though. That'd be interesting. You got a good idea there, Felicia. I don't know if anybody who's listening right now would actually do that, but that would be an interesting hilt, and there would be an interesting font as well. But if anybody could pull that one off, I bet K-Sith or Kyberphonic man could pull that off. Either one of those, or even one Sith too. As a matter of fact, I need to talk to some of these font makers and see what they're working on, and I need to get another set of font makers on. I need to do another fonts of the uh, Knights of the Font Table Part Two. Yeah, I need to get that show coming up whenever I can. I think that would be pretty cool to get them on. And as a matter of fact, I know I was going through some of my fonts, and I noticed that a couple of them, I'm missing a couple of fonts, and I think I have to. I had a couple by fours, and I know that he took down his fours page already, and some things. I need to get a hold of him though, because one of the fonts that I had was over my helmet, and that I lost that font somewhere. I can't find it anywhere. And I paid for it and all that stuff. So I need to either one get a hold of him or see if anybody else has that particular font and see what I can do if I can grab it back. Because um I was going to put it on actually on the wizard. I mean on the excuse me, on the warlock wizard. I'm thinking of all kinds of different things right now myself. I was thinking, the wizard from Dungeons and Dragons, man. I'm like, holy shit, a Dungeons and Dragons hilt. That would be kind of cool, right? And that'd be a hell of a Greebly saber, though, man. Right? Oh, leave it up to Cole or Darth Alice to do it, though. I bet they could pull that thing off good. They can pull that puppy off real good. And yeah, and I'm looking for these little LEDs here. So let me see. And I got some. Oh, okay. Trying to make some space here so that I can pull the get the buttons off of this piece right now before I can do a few other things here and try them out. Now, also, since we're talking about Greeblies and everything else that to enhance your saber, I would consider, LEDs. LEDs, even as important as they are to the sabers, I believe that they are pretty much the main Greeblies to your saber. And the reason why I say the main Greeblies, right? Because most of the time, when you're seeing the sabers, excuse me, guys, I'm munching on some ice. Um, when you see these chassis with the LEDs running inside and outside of the chassis um and also the hilt, right? And most of your LEDs are going to be in the chassis itself, kind of showing to the outside. Charlie says, I think it's it before. If I had sorry, but I'm still shocked I'm finding saber sounds on my Lord Story Killers saber you guys did last year. I found a Matrix OST and one. A Matrix. Yeah, wow. That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. A Matrix. Uh, dude, a Matrix font. Oh, that's badass, Charlie. That's badass, dude. And you would say, I would think that you could consider the sound fonts as part of your Greeblies too, right? Even though they're very, they're the heart and soul. Okay, the heart and soul is basically your sound card, right? But the LEDs, along with the sound fonts, I think enhance that saber because otherwise, I mean, it'd be the saber without any sound, right? You'd have lights, but no sound. So your sound is more like your enhancement. Your sounds are your greeblies. Your sound fonts are your greeblies. Your LEDs are your greeblies, as well as if you kind of deck out your blades a little bit, right? So you have your enhanced blades, like the enhanced blade, the red enhanced blade that I have from Civilized Sabers, right? This Space sent me. Uh, Pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome, and I love the colors on it. I've got a couple of blades one that I did, and another one that Space sent me, and those are kind of going out. So I need to check. I need to check if it's the LEDs themselves or if it's basically maybe the little um PCB that maybe I need to change out and all that good stuff. So later on, I'll get a hold of Space and find out if that's what I need to do to fix the blades or just redo the blades in general. So all right, so let me get a little bit more drink here and a little bit more honey whiskey. Get my drink here. Uh, Ooh, that's a good sound. Now, kids, I do not condone this. Okay, this is not a kid-friendly show either. So, this is my show. This is the Mundo Madness show. Mundo Madness. So, and it's good. It's honey. So, whew. Okay. So, back to buttons, right? Everybody's got different buttons. Everybody's got different ways of putting in their buttons. You got 12 millimeter, you got 16 millimeter, you got the brass buttons. You can use different ways of even plastic buttons, right? Used in the right proper way, you can have different variations of buttons, slide buttons, slide switches, uh, rocker. switches for ignitions, different things that you can just put into the saber to make it your own, right? And there is no one right way and no one wrong way to do certain things. And if you're going by characterization in terms of blinging out your hilt, well, I mean, you tell me what you want to do, right? I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do to really do use in terms of blinging out your saber, but also kit bashing and electronics bashing, right? Now I've taken a few radios apart. I think I have uh I know I have taken a couple of RCs RCA, what do you call them? Oh gosh. I've taken up a laptop apart. I've taken a few just uh, little tablets, the RCA tablets, right? I took apart one. I've got a couple more that I can take apart. I mean, they're slow as hell. You can't even do nothing with them. But there is a couple of those um RC stuff that I can use, like their screens, right? The LCD screens that they have. So I'm gonna go. I can use those and maybe put some up here of those little screens and have some kind of like space animations on them and stuff like that. And yeah, those RCA little tablets are slow as hell. But if I can just get those and use the LCD screen for whatever, redo the screens, man, I tell you, there's nothing. That'll make something look cool, man. It may not be like anytime soon, but hey, I gotta try it, right? Gotta try it and see if that how it turns out. I mean, because I've seen people. I mean, you people use TV monitors all the time to put up animations, but why use a whole screen? I mean, you can use a screen, but why not add to it to greebly out whatever it is you're trying to achieve, right? So, I mean, why not go for it? Again, here's a button, right? A knob from something. Let's see. There we go. So here's a button, a knob. I don't remember where I got this from, but I do know that I was going to use it in a build and um have it on something. Maybe I think I was going to use it. Oh, I think I was going to use it on the PVC pipe build. Yeah. So I was going to use it on here and have it kind of like, I don't know if I can. Let's see. See, kind of like that, right? So it's gonna have it like this. Instead of putting any little kind of lit LCD button on there, just have a plain Jane long button that will tap whatever I need to tap to turn on the saber off and on. Because this thing, I'm gonna, if I use this thing is gonna be bashing the crap out of things. Let's see, we got a guest on here. Who we got here? And add to stage. Yo, Captain E, what's up?
What's up? How you doing, Mundo?
Good. How about you, man? How's it going?
Oh, great. We're just sitting here having a couple brews, and we were actually just talking sabers a minute ago. Indeed, we were.
Well, welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you.
So, you know about tonight's topic, right? Now, have you guys actually Captain Elvis? I love that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Have you guys ever um taken apart or actually kit? Okay, kit. Have you taken like model cars, model airplanes,
Oh yeah.
anything of that sort,
Oh
and
yeah.
used those to add to your sabers?
Yeah, I have done that. Mostly internal rather than external.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I really haven't experimented with Greeblies and stuff on the outsides, but as far as kit bashing, yeah. I mean, that's part of the Jedi way, isn't it?
Of course. Of
Yes.
course. Use what you've got, man.
Surroundings and it's fun to go. Right. And by the way, this is my brother. This is Tom. Tom at
Hey, Tom.
Mundo Monday. Mundo Monday.
Mundo Madness Monday. Got the drink in hand and everything. So now I know that we had talked a couple of times and you've used PVC pipe internally as well, right?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
and how did that and that must have turned out pretty good. And you used the PVC piece for I believe what was it was it the speaker part or was it
yep, yeah. To put
okay.
a second speaker in the chassis. So
Hmm.
yeah, use a PVC pipe for that, and then you can drill the holes through the walls and run the wires for it. You know, and then exponential sound and dual sound as opposed to just a singular round. So
Awesome.
yeah, let's see, let's something wrong with the lighting. Let's see, spin around. No, no good lighting. I got no good lighting. You can tell I do this a lot, huh? Uh,
Yeah. Don't
but
spend
yeah,
too much. You might get everybody a little toasty, man, like
yeah,
going round
right.
and round.
Sorry for that. I hope I don't cause any seizures or. Uh,
Not by me.
right. Well, sometimes I think I have them when I'm building sabers. You know, you get into some of that intricate wiring, and you're like, touch them together.
So you gotta one of these days you need to build an Elvis saber, right?
Right? All rhinestoned up. Yeah. Gold
There
plated.
you go. And then have like a little LCD screen that says Elvis, uh
Lord Elvis.
uh-huh. Lord Elvis. There you go. Lord Elvis. See,
Yeah.
folks, I'm telling you, we're getting ideas all over the damn place right here, man. Only on
Yeah.
Mundo Madness Monday.
Yeah, I got a
You come.
14 karat gold plated graphics that I'm gonna jazz out.
Oh man, you got it. Okay, see, then
That'll
you
be
talk.
all this week.
14 karat gold. I think you got to talk to Jedi arms dealer on that, something like that, man. I think
Yeah,
he's
well,
got
put it
one.
this way. It's so beautiful a saber. I don't even want to install it myself. I'm gonna have somebody else install this thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm 55 now and I got shaky hands and I might accidentally touch it with a screwdriver and put a scratch on it and that would ruin my millennium.
Oh yeah.
That'd be like Han walking out to the parking lot and find out that his ship got repossessed. I mean, come on. We're sorry, we had that towed away. You were in a no parking zone.
Yeah. Instead of Ellis going, you go, oh.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, kit bashing is cool because you can take from other things and put together and create something your own. And if done tastefully, I mean, it can enhance the looks of your saber, your chassis, whatever.
Oh yeah, and I believe that wholeheartedly because if you've seen some of the stuff that Jeremy from Solos and Jim from Cheerfun Orbital, as well as Albert, um, from Smugglers, all these guys, are just making some badass chassis,
Oh yeah.
and I mean, and then Benji from Nerf Herders, man, I tell you, these guys just kicking it
Oh
at left
yeah,
and right with their chassis.
I
So,
know. It's like I wish
whew,
I was half that talented.
me too, man. And I can't even make a stick figure look good. I tell you what,
Man,
it's crazy.
I've seen some 3D printed sabers that look way better than some of the top tier sabers that are out there, you know? And
Right.
you look at them and you're like, is that 3D printed? Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Well,
it's
even
come a
the
long way.
it has even the carbon fibers one, man.
Oh yeah.
And I forgot, was it Bendu Armory is the one that does the carbon fibers, right?
Right. Yeah. And see, I can print with carbon fiber. I can print with like 16 different media, from wood to carbon fiber to even, I can even print out metal fiber, and then sinter it.
Wow.
But yeah, I got a nice little printer. I just don't know how to use it to its fullest, full its
It's full
potential.
potential. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people are right now at this point that are starting to get into printing. I
Yeah.
myself, I would love to get into printing eventually, but it's going to be a long while for me to get into the printing right now. Just simply with what everything I have going on, and then of course, I told you earlier, my daughter graduating and stuff like that, and
Hmm. Which
so a lot of
congratulations to
that.
you.
Oh, thank you. So, a lot of that stuff, and again, going back even to some of the plumbing parts, right, uh, from hardware stores and everything.
Right. Pressure fittings.
Tend to go, a lot of people tend to go to hardware store stuff in order to really enhance their saber builds as well,
Right.
because you can not only can you put different pieces in for the crystal chambers, but there's some pretty decent things that you can kind of cut up, look at, brass pieces as well
Right. Spacers,
to
whatever.
enhance your saber. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody thinks 3D chassis. You can go with some 440 stainless steel rods and some spacers, and build chassis that way. And then you can put the brass compression fittings and stuff in there, to fill the space up. And I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do.
Hmm.
But I mean, and that's the way a lot of people used to do it. TCSS was king back in the days for chassis parts, right? I mean,
Hmm.
everybody was doing the stainless steel 440 rods with the multiple pieces and all
I
the
still
gear.
am.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I still am because in all actuality, even as good as even as good as the 3D printed chassis are, and I love them to death. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore them. But there's just something about the 440 rod metal chassis that that has a soul on its own besides the 3D printed chassis as well. I mean,
Right.
it's a little easier to work with the 3D printed chassis in terms of putting things in there, but and it's a little bit. I think it's a maybe a little bit more archaic with the 440 rods and the brass tubing, you know, and everything else that goes with that kind of chassis build.
Right.
However, when you see all the wires that go through there, when you see the brass tubing, or even the silver tubing, and then you see these spacers, then you see all the little details.
It looks mechanical.
Yeah, it looks mechanical. And with the
Right.
3D printed one, you
You
can
lose
make
all
it look you can make it look sort of mechanical,
that. Right.
but it's not the same.
And with 3D, uh, you can snap them. You know,
Right.
where the metal 440 rod, it might twist out of shape a little bit, but then all you got to do is twist it right back and tighten it up.
Tighten it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a trade off either way you go. You know,
Either way you go, there is a trade-off. Yeah.
right? It's either fragile or it's time consuming and chaotic looking, but more mechanical versus more industrial. You know,
Yeah.
it looks
Absolutely.
more like it was put together by a Jedi with his mind, right? I mean,
Yeah.
pieces went together, slap, 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 done. Whereas 3D printed, you see the body of it, and yeah, you can greebly it up and make it look really kick ass. But
Hmm.
not everybody has those skills. Most people just print out the basic chassis if they have the access to a printer or can print, you know. And then you got to buy
Hmm.
somebody's uh, files, STL files, and then hopefully your printer prints them out right, you know. So there's a trade off either way
Absolutely.
you go. So you're trading fragility for strength, but you're trading chaos or chaotic for smooth and refined.
And I think that's what, yeah, that I would consider the 3D printed chassis smooth and refined,
Right,
right? As opposed to the middle that is a little bit more chaotic, but more or less your I guess your old school stuff, right?
right.
So old school versus new school,
Yeah.
if you want
And
to go that route.
to me, that just looks more movie realistic. Honestly, when you look at it, you see all the rods running through there. It just makes you think, yeah, this because like when you see Luke with the saber together, right? You see all these pieces
Hmm.
start rising off the ground, and then you see it kind of get wavy, and all of a sudden pieces start moving around and slap, 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 done. And then he grabs it, does the final power up on it, and bing, it's there.
Right.
It's in there, cut off.
That so yeah, man. That would like be unbelievable though. I mean, just the transition to both of those has been actually phenomenal. The transition from the metal to the PLA plus 3D printed parts. And each one serves their purpose, right?
Right,
But you can and then not only that, but you can also do I guess you could also have it to where I should do not that. I suppose that you can have your little 3D printed parts as Greeblies, right? To do to enhance your sabers as well. Not only in
right,
the chassis part of it, but also I don't know. So just to kind of give a an idea of what I'm doing right here, I'm like I said, I'm getting these buttons off of here, so I'm kind of using the
gotcha.
hot air station for this and and get them to drop off out of here
Right.
without having to pull them off. So while we're talking on this stuff,
Hey, multitasking, I love it.
exactly. um, but like I said, the 3D printed parts now can really enhance the Saber experience in terms of not only functionality, not only art, but in terms of getting what you really want out of the Saber, right?
Exactly.
Shit, that's hard. Um, so let's say, like I said, my train of thought just kind of went bye bye here. let's see. Um,
Talking about the outsides,
yeah, on the
customizable.
outsides, right? So let's say you have a trim ring, but the trim ring you don't necessarily want metal, but you have it in 3D printed, correct?
Right,
Now, you can do when you're 3D printing that trim ring, you can put all kinds of different symbols. You can do different designs. You can do all of that stuff.
right. Arabic.
Whereas, right, in metal, you can do the laser etching, right? But if you want to have, like you said, there's a trade-off between the metal and the 3D printed because the 3D printed is a little bit more brittle compared to the metal part, and
Right,
it's much easier to break. However, you have your choice of laser printing onto the metal parts, but as you're 3D printing that trim ring, then you have already done your symbols or your whatever kind of design that you're going for
right.
into that ring, into that ring, and it's printed up at the same time. So there's no really extra step that you got to take when it's printing, correct?
Right. Either way, it's a program you gotta use. So
Right. Either way, it's programmed. And I think that, I mean, that either way is phenomenal though, because I mean, you're still getting art you can fight with, like Rob says.
yeah, like yeah, that's always fun. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do anything from switch boxes to your rings, your accent rings, whatever trim rings. And the thing is, uh, if one gets damaged, you just reprint it, right?
Hmm.
And if it don't turn out the way you want it, unlike buying it from somebody else and then getting something you're not happy with, you just reprint it, refine it,
Right.
right? Rescale your fonts, whatever you have to do, and then when you're happy, as long as it's not a stress point, uh, you're good to go. Sky's the limit.
Now, see, and I'm glad that you mentioned stress point because now if you're doing this day in and day out, I think at some point it may become a stress point. Even though you have the passion and the love for it, right?
Right,
And you may be confronted with a deadline that you have to do, and you it kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit, right? Even though it's fun,
right,
and if you do something that you love, it's never you never work a day in your life.
right,
However, the stress of doing it is not that. It is the stress of basically the deadline, I would think.
right,
And that's all there is as far as that goes, is the stress of the deadline and not pretty much anything else. Because the love that you have for your saber building is is a labor of love. And
yeah,
and
exactly,
and so the labor of love is the greatest feeling in the world once you complete something.
right.
And especially if you find something cool to go on to it. You know?
Yeah, right. And like I said, three, there's nothing wrong with using 3D printed parts, or for as far as Greeblies and stuff on your sabers. I mean, heck, yeah, there's your imagination can run wild. But like I said, as long as you're not printing on anything that's going to be a stress point, yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, I've seen some 3D sabers that I had to question whether they were metal or not. You know, is that metal or is that plastic?
Well,
Really,
look at,
really?
yeah, look at Megtooth, man. That Mando armor that he's done. I don't know if you've seen his videos with the Mando armor.
Yeah,
And Jesus, man, the way he actually bling he makes that. that plastic look like metal. I mean,
Yeah,
shiny metal. As
yeah,
hard as it is to do that, I mean, that's just amazing craftsmanship as well. And so,
right.
if people, if people watch Meg Two Sith and they see what he's done with that plastic in
Yeah,
terms of the Mando armor suit, just unbelievably badass,
yeah.
badass.
Tom's channel is a one-stop shop. I mean, he does everything from
Hmm.
installs to font reviews to, and and we're talking live installs. So you're there watching him wire it from ground up. So,
Right.
you know, but
That is just cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I really enjoy
so
watching Tom.
yeah, and yeah, he's fun to watch. He's entertaining, and he's like, "Oh, my shaky hands, my shaky hands." It's like, well, I got shaky hands too.
Yeah, I told Tom that myself. I said, Tom, man, we're right there with you. We're just as old as you are, man.
Yeah, right.
Let's teach the new generation here that they're not shaky, but they're gonna be
Right,
eventually.
right.
So deal with it and live with it
Yep.
and work on it and get it done. And that's all
Yep.
there is to it.
Hurry up and
Yeah,
do it
but
while
one
you're
day.
young. Yeah, it's kind of like a racehorse, They start off as a pony, and that's us starting off as a pony, doing our first saber. Then pretty soon we're racing like a thoroughbred, right? We're going through it. We're going through it. Then all of a sudden the 50s hit, and the hands get a little more shakier. It's a little harder and a little slower to get to that soldering point. And
Right?
then you're like, well, I'm not really happy with that. I got to go back and do that. Where before I didn't have to do that. you know,
Yeah, and he would say like for the what is it, the headpiece, right?
yeah,
Do I have it down here? Yeah. So the old man glasses right here, the old man specs.
right.
This is a must. This is a
Oh
must, people. You
yeah,
get
right.
older, or you can't see right. You can't. You need like narrow vision. You have a picture that's back here, and you want it way up here. Get those, man, because they are worth their weight in gold. I tell you.
Yeah, there's mine.
I
They got
had some of
multiple.
those too. I had some of
Yeah.
those too, and they broke, man. So
Oh, did
like, I
they?
got me some. Yeah, they broke. So I got me some new ones.
I just like those because they got 8 different changeable lenses, and it's
Yeah.
like if I got to do micro SD soldering, like SMDs and stuff on
Right.
CFX boards, it's like that's mind-boggling how small them are. It's like they're smaller than the tip on my soldering iron, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
and that's something else they get to look forward to is bad eyesight. You know.
Right.
Yeah, 5 years ago I didn't need a magnifying glass. Today I do. Hmm.
That makes two
Okay.
of us, man. That makes two of us. But it's all good. And again, especially if you're gonna do some greeblies, like small greebly work, like for instance, you have some people like if they incorporate, right, the LED legs, right,
Hmm.
LED legs
Right.
into, let's say they need to run they can use those LED legs for whatever little accent they need into their chassis, right? Let's say
Right.
they build like a half metallic and half 3D printed chassis. And so they're looking for metal pieces to accent this place and everything here and there, right?
Right.
You have little steel pieces, you have little LED leg pieces, you have little aluminum pieces, you have little copper pieces, and all of these little pieces that connect here, like a Martin Bear, right? Martin
right,
Bear chassis, especially Graflex, Martin Bear Graflex pieces,
right,
and the 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 details that you see on those hilts and the chassis system for those is unbelievable. How many small pieces that go into it, but the
right,
intricacy of all of those little pieces together that makes it look so badass.
right. Well, that's like the Millennium Falcon. There was like 300 parts or parts from 300 different models, I believe it was, something like that. And that's all along the sides and along the top, the bottom, all those Greeblies where it looks like piping running and stuff. That's all one gigantic conglomeration of kit bashing, you
Yeah,
know. So Greebly work. So actually, I think maybe Star Wars might have started the Greebly work. Period. If you think
they
about it.
did. Yeah, essentially they did, man, and everybody just got onto the bandwagon and
Because
went and ran with it, man.
every ship in
So,
there was kit bashed. Every
hmm
ship, including the X-wing fighter. I mean, that was multiple models put together, just like all the rest of them.
well, and especially because I was watching what do you call it? The one of the uh blah 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 blah. My brain is not working right now. Oh my gosh, the documentary, right? The
Right?
documentary on how they kit bashed actually a race car
Really?
for the X-wing, and it
Yeah.
is if if you watch it, they show that it is actually one of those oh man, what do you call those little skinny cars with the big old
Dragsters,
uh yeah, they're not the dragsters. They're close to the dragsters, but not quite. They're the
funny
smaller
car,
ones. Um,
funny
in
car.
like the Indy 500 almost.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so those kind of cars like that, where they got this slimmer front end, right?
Right,
I think we saw one of those cars in I think it was Iron Man 2 or 3, one of those. Anyway, where he was driving those cars, right? So what they did was they kit bashed one of those models on the drag cars just like that, but with the Indy 500 part, I think it was, and
basically.
the front end of the car became the basis for the X-wing, and that was really interesting to see, right? And
Right,
and the Millennium Falcon was actually a hamburger, and George Lucas just kind of looked at a hamburger and came up with the damn Millennium Falcon, so to speak.
right. Just
And
flatten it out.
yeah, basically.
Yep,
took he took a bite out of it, flattened it down, and there's your Millennium Falcon, man.
yep.
And
Build it.
so,
If you build it, they will come.
so I mean, it's amazing what you can do with just little bits and pieces from here and there, and turn it into something extraordinary. And
Right
and I
now,
think that's
right now,
and I
had the Millennium
believe,
Falcon had the Falcon not been all kit bash like that, it wouldn't have looked like it was mechanical. It
right,
would have looked like a model. But by doing that, they brought life to a model, right? They they
right.
they ensued the imagination and created a retrospect vision that's going to last forever.
Yeah, and they didn't even have very long to do it either.
No,
That I think from what I saw, and I could be wrong on the timeline when I watched that when I watched it. I think they were saying they only had like a couple of months to get it done.
yeah, I think it was like
Uh,
2 or 3 months. Yeah,
yeah, something like that.
but
So
it
that
was
was
a
interesting to
rush.
see in itself.
Yeah,
How
I mean that's a rush. gosh, you're going from nothing to from George's imagination to production. I mean,
Hmm.
you know, is this
I
what
mean,
you thought,
even
George? Yep.
well, look at Yoda. I mean, Yoda is actually one of the staff's face. You know,
Right.
one of the staff that was on their writer. I don't know if it was a writer or I forgot who he was, but anyway, his face was the basis for Yoda, and so because they had pictured this being several different ways, and this guy decided, you know what, I'm gonna put my face in it, and we're gonna be done with it.
Yep.
Long ears and my face, and we'll get a little old, and yeah, we're done, we're good.
Yeah, they're
So,
like, Frank, aren't you a little vain?
and then the model, the model for the Death Star, the model for all of the big ships and everything, Jesus, man. They must have taken apart thousands and thousands of models just to get their specific look for all of
Oh
the
yeah.
ships, right?
Yeah, months and months, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, more than months.
You
Yeah,
know,
it took at least a year or so just for finding. If you were to find all of these specific models, and I think they did show exactly which models that they could get. There's a list out there, I think, of all the models that they used to make for
right.
their ships and everything. And then the LEDs that they put in there, or whatever lighting that they have in there, unbelievable,
Right.
unbelievable, man.
Yeah. I mean, and they did that back then without all the solid state technology we have today. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
I mean, they were using incandescent lights and fluorescent lights and using deflectors inside the models to block out certain areas. And yeah, I mean, back then when they were building models as opposed to today with today's CGI, I mean, back then it was all models, right? I mean, for everything from TV to movies.
Shrooms. Yeah.
And so all these people, all these artisans came together and looked at the blueprints, made the models, and the shows were shot. And that's how it was. Well, today you got CGI. You know, it's not like the old days where you took 150 model kits, bashed them together into one model, and said, "Hey, this is the ship."
Right.
Right? Now it's type, 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 enter, type, 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 enter. How about that?
And
Yeah.
I think
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm.
and I believe you hit the nail on the head when you said artist, right? Artist. There is the key word because everybody has a little bit of a artistry within them in terms of when they're building, in terms of their imagination, in terms of what they're going for towards their saber look, the
Right.
ultimate look of their sabers, right?
Right.
Um, like I was saying, with Warlock here, you know, just the fact that this came around fairly quickly, and I wanted such a simple build, but not overly done. And when TCSS had offered their golden harvest cores, I'm thinking to myself, okay, right now I don't have any sabers working at the moment, right? I mean,
Right.
all my sabers up here, back here, are out of commission. So either they have to be redone or they have to get fixed and everything else. I said, I need something for the show. So it's like, I need something quick. And so when they got the core, I got the core, and I'm thinking, what pieces will look good, decent, and everything else. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, this looks good, this looks good. And of course, I went, to their builder, and I put this together on the builder before I even thought about, um, because they have the builder with the core already, and all I do is just input parts. And I'm
Right.
thinking, yeah, this looks good, this looks good. Okay, what paint am I gonna put? What color am I gonna do this? And so on the choke was wet black. On the emitter, it's warlock gray. On the pommel, it's warlock gray. And so and then the colored LED buttons, right? And I'm thinking,
Right?
what the hell do I call this thing? I'm like, it's just a simple saber, and I'm thinking, well, Warlock Gray, shit, why not call it the Warlock? you know, it's
Yeah.
simple. So yeah, and I set the settings where I can twist it on, twist it off, right? So let me see. Oop. Who doesn't love Thundar if you grew up in the '80s, right?
Right? Thunder, thunder, thunder.
Thundar the Barbarian.
Watch it, Wily
I may
Cat.
listen to that.
And watch out, Wily Cat.
Yep.
Pantero. He was my guy, Pantero.
I mean, man. I mean, it's got
That's
an
my,
amazing sound to it.
yeah, I like
And
that.
I
I like
love
the
the
blade.
blasters. Oh yeah, this is the enhanced red that I got from Civilized Sabers in space. Man, I tell you, the
That's
enhanced
nice.
red really brings out the color, badass
How
color
about the
to it.
blues?
The blues is not so much. Well,
Is that more a
I mean, it's
purple?
just. Hold on, just a second. Let's see.
Ooh, that
Let's
purple
see.
is pretty.
Saber editor. Select mode.
And again, this is Golden Harvest.
There's nothing wrong with Golden Harvest. I like Golden
Color
Harvest.
profile. Pixel number. Ignition. Retract ignition speed. Session ignition speed.
No, I didn't want ignition speed. Oh my god. Let me see. All
As
right, let's
Scotty
go
from Star
there.
Trek would say, the more complicated the plumbing, the easier the stuff to drain.
I'm telling, I'm still learning it, man. I'm still learning this stuff,
Yeah,
man. I
it's
tell
different.
you.
It's different, but I like it.
All right.
Saber editor. Select mode. Retraction speed. Battle configuration.
You can do it.
I can do it. No, you fucked it up.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it now.
File.
You got to do it. Do it now. Get to the
I
chopper.
think. I think I passed up the colors so many times already.
I'll drink to that.
Battle
Well, you
configuration.
better, damn it.
Gesture controls. Effect foxtrot.
Where you
Save
at,
and
man?
saber editor. Color profile.
There we go.
Choose color profile.
All right, let's see what we got. Okay. Oh,
Ooh,
we got the yellow.
that yellow is phenomenal on a red blade. It looks so
Yeah,
gold.
man. And
Hey,
see,
that is the one blade.
to me, the way it looks to me right here, honestly, it's got like an orangish glow on each side of it,
Really?
and a green in the middle,
Dude,
right?
on the camera, it's coming
But on
through.
the
It's coming through
yeah.
24 karat gold.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is beautiful.
That looks pretty awesome. On camera, it looks pretty awesome.
Ooh, I like the fuchsia.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go through them all. Oh, that purple
Whoa,
is.
whoa,
Dude, that magenta
whoa.
looks
Oh my
good,
God, that is the most beautiful purple. Oh,
right? The magenta,
hey,
the
hands to
magenta looks
Anthony.
good.
Hands to Anthony.
I tell you, this is the red enhanced blade,
Oh my God, I love that. Oh, I love that. Ooh, fuchsia. Oh my God, I'm
Look
gonna have
at
an orgasm. Hurry up, go past the next color.
that. Now this is red. This is total red right here.
That
Total
looks
red right
like
here.
Vader stepping right out of the shadows.
right?
Yeah, that looks so movie like. Wow,
Man, I tell
I'm
you, it's
impressed with those
crazy.
colors.
Look at the aura on this thing too, man.
I know. It's got like a greenish yellow aura going around with a red outside.
Yeah, there's your greenish right there. I
Yeah.
mean, it looks golden greenish, right? Kind of
Yep.
like an acidy green.
Yeah. It's like a flashback.
And there's your purple right there.
Yeah, that's nice windy right there. Right there, yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Mother.
Dude, now that looks cool.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is absolutely now that one. I want to take it out on the town. Come on, you're going with me. We're having supper.
Okay, so let's see. Let's get back to the. Let's see.
Yeah,
What was it?
let's
Right
look at the
there, the
blue.
gold. All right. There's no blue in this.
There's
I
no
went through
blue.
all the colors. No
Really?
blues on this one. Yeah,
That
all
see,
the colors.
that's isn't that funky? How red just
It
cancels
is.
out all blue.
Oh, okay. So
Pixel number, ignition to retraction, ignition speed, retraction, battle
Hey, Mundo,
configuration
did you
control.
yeah.
install that?
Did I what?
Did you install that?
No.
No.
DCI. Yeah, no. But I do have a Golden Harvest board that I am going to install. And the Golden Harvest board that I'm going to install is on the Memory Saver, the Roy Boy 2.0.
Right.
Effect slab, save and leave.
Well, I knew you were planning to do that. I just didn't know if you installed that one.
No, yeah, no. I bought it. I bought it because, like I said, I needed it for the show, but I wanted to kind of learn it, learn the Golden Harvest board, learn its capabilities before I wire it,
Right.
so that I kind of get an idea of what I'm working with, like when I install it,
Right.
and I already know some of the capabilities of it, right?
Right. So you'll know if it's working 100% or not.
Right. And I
Right.
love the twist
Familiarity is always a good
ignition.
thing.
Yeah, and I love that twist ignition, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
That's like me the other day. I happened across this video and it says, why not to give your child a swing on lightsaber? The guy's walking out with a cup of coffee, right? And he decides
Uh-oh.
to stop and take a drink because his kid's going like this, right? All of a sudden, he's like, shuts it off, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, watch this!" Whap! Hit
There
the
goes the
coffee cup.
drink.
The coffee cup went up down his face. Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
God.
hilarious.
The
What
good
not
thing
to
there was
do?
no alcohol in it, because that would have been alcohol abuse.
Yeah, right. Can't do that.
Oh man, that would be crazy, man.
So,
You
how
spell
far have you
alcohol.
gotten on the membrane saber?
Actually, right now, the uh the slide switch, the slide kill switch, will be here hopefully tomorrow, right?
Well,
And if I'm going to see about fitting an I have a 5 millimeter LED that's going into this piece. Oop, sorry.
gotcha.
This, this piece right here, right?
Right.
I already know a 5 millimeter LED will fit in there. Now, I bought a single LED, pixel LED
Oh,
from
okay. So LCD.
right. I bought a single pixel LED from Albert, and I need to see if it's going to be too big to fit into this piece or not.
Well, you can always
And
sample.
yeah, so I'm going to see if I can fit it in here and then wire it up because I already glued hot glued.
Oh,
I
did
don't
you?
know if you can see that. See that
Yeah.
right there? I already hot glued it, so it's diffused right there already.
Nice.
And um, so if that single, uh, I don't know if I can actually get um, a pixel, because if I can get a pixel to fit in here, right, and hot glue it in there and get it set up and wired in here,
Right.
and I just need that and the kill switch, and then I can start wiring everything up.
Right.
So
Well, if it
that's
doesn't
where I'm
fit,
at.
if it doesn't fit, like I said, you could either take a pocket knife and just whittle down the sides a little bit, or you could sand it off. Right? Don't. I wouldn't do the top because if with that diffusion already, and if you diffuse the top, it might be a little too dark. Right? On certain
Hmm.
colors, they might not show through as well. So I'd make sure I don't frost the top. Leave that as bright as possible. But
Hmm.
doing it that way, I mean, and then a little Crisco goes a long way.
Yeah.
Get in
So
there. Get
I'm
in there.
wondering now if I can't stand down that single pixel that I got from Albert, right? Now, if I can't get that specifically down, and I do have, what are those damn LEDs? I'm thinking, damn, where's that strip? I had that strip here a while ago. What did I do with it? See, I am so disorganized, and that's, here they are. So that's the thing, people, man.
Welcome to the
I
world of
mean,
saber.
don't be as disorganized as I am, right? I'm thinking I can get one of these,
Yeah.
and I don't know, and then I don't know how if I'm going to be able to cut one of these down
Go turn that on.
and get it to the point, get it to the point where I can actually fit it in that 5 millimeter housing, right? So
Well, if anything,
that's
you
gonna
might
be
have.
a challenge. That's gonna be a
If,
challenge in itself.
well, if anything, you might have to take off just a couple little pocket knife swipes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go from like 3/4 up to the bottom of it. It's got that little bit of a lip right there at the bottom, right? So just go right to the bottom, make a couple little shavings, and then try to fit it.
See, and that's the thing, because I mean that square in itself won't even fit in there. Because
Yep.
if I'm looking at this like that, it's just barely. I mean, it's not even covering this whole thing. So I don't know, man. I mean, that's just it's kind
Well,
of.
I'll be
I'll
honest
figure it
with
out.
you. Most of mine are right around 4.9 millimeters.
On the Pixel?
LEDs, yeah, on the Pixel
Pixel
LEDs. Yeah, most of them are right
Pixel.
around 4.9. Some are a little
Mm-hmm.
bit over, but for the most part, it should fit in there nicely for you. Like I said, if
So
not,
what
you don't have to
are
do a
they
whole lot of work.
are they 35 35s or what?
No, you can actually get Pixel LEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just
So
regular. They're RGBs, but when you hook them up and use them as a blade, they work in sequence just like a Pixel.
right.
They'll meld your colors. They'll go from one to the other. They'll flash on flash, just like a Pixel.
Hmm. See, and then I think that's what I got from Albert like that, but I'm not sure, and I don't know exactly. I didn't measure it, so I don't know exactly how big it is, whether
Right,
it actually fit into the 5 millimeter thing. So
right.
we'll see
I
how
mean,
that's gonna
they're
go.
both LED, light emitting diodes. So I mean, you know,
Hmm.
you're gonna get the same thing out of a RGB LED as you would a Pixel LED. I would imagine because you got the same blending capabilities,
Right.
right? You
Now,
got three colors, the
now
primaries.
another thing that I was thinking of, and I don't. well, it probably no, it wouldn't work that way. But um, no, I was thinking maybe some of those smaller LEDs that go on the board to put them on a little disc
Well,
of
hey, I believe if you go to the saber merchant, you can buy individual pixels,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
well,
then
like I said, I have one from Albert. I need to find it, but like I said, I need to measure that one out and see if that'll fit in there. And if not, I mean, if I have to, I'll go back to, the 5 miller LED, right
right,
here, and just put like I had it with hot glue and do it that way, wire it up that way. But I'd rather do probably the pixel LED would be a lot easier to do. You know what I
right.
mean? Because I bought all the I bought all the resistors for them and stuff like that, and of course I tested the LED with a 3 volt testing mechanism, and testing the 3 volt mechanism, it kind of dimmed out. No, babe. It kind of dimmed out both the blue and the red LED with a 220 ohm. So maybe all I need to do is do a 100 ohm for the red and leave everything else unresisted.
Well, um, I'd have to go look at that. Um, I don't see why you couldn't put one in line. Why? What I don't understand is why we can't put one in line that would cover all three.
Mm.
You know, well, the red
One in line, all three?
the blue and the green they take different ohmage. Uh, I don't know. Well, see, that's like me. I want to do bar graphs, but I'm intimidated by them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the wiring in series or parallel, and then resistors on it. It's like, how do I fit all this in? I've only got this much space. How do I fit all these resistors to the independent LED bars and fit all this into a little 3D printed chassis?
Well, I used the PL. I did the PLI that way.
Oh, did you?
Um, yeah, the PLI from TCSS. That's going right here, right under my buttons, right?
Yeah.
So I have it where I don't know if you can actually see it in there, but let me see if I can get it. Let me see. But if you see the
Oh,
PLI
yeah.
right there,
Yeah.
that's how I have it right under there. And so most of this should light up with the PLI later on.
Nice.
So and I did that to honor space because if you watch some of Anthony's old videos, right? He has one called the Great Jedi saber. Well, actually, he did two sabers like that. But the Great Jedi is the one that I watched when I got hooked on the custom saber stuff. Uh, after my friend had passed away.
Right.
So, um, doing this was a way to make sure that I honor Anthony in terms of creating, Roy Boy,
Right.
and for what Anthony has done for me over the years, answering my questions and just basically putting up with me,
Right.
you know. And of course, without Anthony's Mundo Madness Monday wouldn't be around because he is the original creator of Saber Talk, And so again, I honor Anthony by continuing Saber Talk. It, and blessings to Heshy's family, because uh, it's such a great loss to have him, gone too early, man. Because we need a good rant from Harris right now. You know. Oh, I love that picture, dude.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, this is
we
my
need a
hallway.
good we need a good Harris rant.
Right?
There's another good one right there. I think I
Yeah.
have. I've got that one way up here, man. You can't see it, but yeah. Eventually I'll get them all. Yeah.
That one, and then this one. Uh, Little
There you
Mando.
go.
I don't know if you can see that or not, but
Uh-huh.
Little Mando.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's my hallway. It's lined like a movie theater. But yeah, it's a great subject tonight and everything, and I got to get out of here. But I enjoyed being on and shooting the saber with you.
Thank you, sir.
That's a great blade, though. I mean, yeah, sure you're going to miss out on the blues, but oh my, the rest of those
Oh
colors,
yeah.
oh, that they more than make up for it.
Oh yeah. Eventually I want to. I think eventually I'm going to acquire all of the enhanced blades, like the enhanced blue, the enhanced green. I want to get the spectrum of colors eventually, right?
Right,
And then of course, like I said, I'm having some trouble with my other white blades, and I think I'm not sure if it's the wires, if it's the PCB, but those are kind of going wonky right now. So I need to see about um, later, Felicia. I need to see about getting those changed up and see. I need to talk to Space and find out what's going on with those. If they're the LEDs themselves, if it's the PCBs, maybe I need to just redo the blades, automatically. Well,
right,
the one that I built, the 28-inch white that I built, I think I'm gonna do that anyway. I wanted to get some better LEDs in there anyway, strip LEDs, because when I bought those, they were about $60, right? They were like $30 each. When I had only enough money, when I first started, I only had enough money to get those,
right,
and I spent about $60 for cheap LED strips, and I mean, for what they are, well, not bad, lasting this long. So,
right, right.
good 3 or 4 years. I mean, not bad.
Well, it's always time to upgrade. You know, you gotta upgrade. That's one thing with this hobby. You gotta upgrade. You know,
Upgrade.
and
Yeah.
and, and upgrading is not a bad thing by any means. But to keep
Right.
update, up to date, yeah, you gotta upgrade. So I
Absolutely.
mean, but anyway, I got to get out of here. It was good talking with you, Mundo, and keep up the good work, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Good talking with you. Adios.
All right. Adios.
Uh-huh. All right, folks. Well, I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. And for Charlie, Felicia, Titan, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. And a big, big thank you for Jared, Captain Elvis, stopping by. It was a lot of fun talking to him. And guys, I tell you, I am so blessed that you are hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. And for those of you coming and just watching the channel on for Civilized Sabers and Saber Talk, you can shoot me an email at e_cabrera CABRERAIII at yahoo.com. If you want to hang out, you want to talk, Saber Talk, you got some ideas that you want to come and talk onto the show, hit me up on my email. You can also catch me at Instagram at Mundo Cabrera 7007. And, you can like and subscribe if you wish. If you don't, hey, no worries, it's all good. I appreciate everybody who is going to watch this, who will watch this, and who's been hanging out with me consistently. I just I am floored that I have such cool people to hang out with. They come and hang out with me and talk with me. So um, also make sure that you like and subscribe to Civilized Sabers for the brightest blades on the planet. Make sure that you also subscribe to Anthony Lagapa, Space Windu, if you will. Also, Jedi Arms Dealer, Gabe, all the guys, that make this possible for me to come on here and talk sabers with you guys. I so much appreciate it. So again, thank you so much, everybody. May the force be with y'all. And Mundo is going to be out.
In here, we pour whiskey.